Vampire Weekend is an American rock band from New York City, formed in 2006. They are currently signed to XL Recordings. The band consists of lead vocalist and guitarist Ezra Koenig, guitarist, keyboardist and backing vocalist Rostam Batmanglij, drummer and percussionist Chris Tomson and bassist and backing vocalist Chris Baio. The band released its first album Vampire Weekend in 2008, which included the singles Mansard Roof, A Punk, Oxford, Cape Cod Kwassa Kwassa, and The Kids Don't Stand a Chance. The band's second album, Contra, was released in 2010. Their third studio album, Modern Vampires of the City, was released on May 14, 2013, winning them a Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album in 2014. History, formation and rise to fame. The band members met while enrolled at Columbia University, beginning with a rap collaboration between Koenig and Tomson. They bonded over a shared love of punk rock and African music, and Koenig toured with the Dirty Projectors during a period of experimentation with African music, inspiring the band to incorporate world sounds into their earliest work. The band chose the name Vampire Weekend from the title of a short film project Koenig worked on during the summer between freshman and sophomore years in college. While home for the summer, Koenig watched a 1980s vampire film and was inspired to make a northeastern version of the film in which a man named Walker travels to Cape Cod to warn the mayor that vampires are attacking the United States. Koenig abandoned the project after 2 days. The band began playing shows around Columbia University, starting with a battle of the bands at Lerner Hall. After graduating from college, the band self-produced their debut album while simultaneously working full-time jobs, Tomson is a music archivist and Koenig is a middle school English teacher. In 2007, Vampire Weekend's song Cape Cod Kwassa Kwassa was ranked 67th on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 best songs of the year. In November 2007, they toured the UK with the Shins. The now common form of blog hype and internet buzz played a role in their success and led to a large pre-release following sufficient to support them performing on 3 tours before their debut album was released. They were declared the year's best new band by Spin magazine in the March 2008 issue, and were the first band to be shot for the cover of the magazine before releasing their debut album. 4 songs from the band's first album also made the Triple J Hottest 100, 2008. The internet hype had its backlash, however, as critics reacted against a perceived image of Vampire Weekend as privileged, upper-class Ivy League graduates stealing from foreign musicians. One critic went so far as to call Vampire Weekend the whitest band in the world, to which they took exception, given their Ukrainian, Persian, Italian and Hungarian heritages. Koenig responded in a November 2009 interview by saying, "Nobody in our band is a WASP." Furthermore, the backlash involving their social backgrounds was largely unfounded, as Koenig explained in the interview that the band members got into Columbia on scholarship and used student loans. He himself was still paying off student loans in 2009. Self-titled album, the band's first album Vampire Weekend was released January 29, 2008. A success in the US and UK, it peaked at number 15 on the UK Albums Chart and number 17 on the Billboard 200. 4 singles were released from the album. While A Punk peaked at number 25 on the Billboard Modern Rock Chart and number 55 on the UK Singles Chart, Oxford, peaked at number 38 in the UK. A Punk was ranked the 4th on Rolling Stone's Reader's Rock list, Best Songs of 2008. A Punk was also used to open the Will Ferrell-John C. Reilly feature Step Brothers, and featured in the UK television show The In-Betweeners and the video games Guitar Hero 5, Just Dance 2 and Lego Rock Band. Contra. The band's second album, Contra, was released on January 11, 2010 in the UK and the following day in the US. On January 12, 2010, Hot Charter was released as a free download on the band's website. The album's first single, Cousins, was released on November 17, 2009. Initial copies of the CD and LP sold at independent record stores in the US include a 3-track bonus CD containing 2 melts, which featured bits of album tracks and a remix. Contra was the band's first album to debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200. On January 9, 2010, the band did an acoustic show for MTV Unplugged. The following month, the band toured Europe and Canada with Canadian electro duo Fan Death as their support. The video for their next single Giving Up the Gun was also released on February 18, 2010, which included cameos from Joe Jonas, Lil Jon, RZA and Jake Gyllenhaal. They also played festivals across the USA such as Coachella, Bonnaroo, Austin City Limits Music Festival, All Points West and the Groove in the Move Festival in Australia. Their third single, Holiday, was released on June 7, 2010. On June 25, 2010, the band played the Pyramid stage at Glastonbury Festival, in Pilton, Somerset, UK. The band were also on the main stage at Tea in the Park 2010 at Balladoke in Ross, Scotland, on June 8, and played the Oxygen Festival in Ireland on July 9. They also headlined the Latitude Festival in Suffolk, UK on July 18. On July 16 the band headlined the main stage at the festival in Turnus in Old Benicassim. In the summer of 2010 the band played at the Utopia stage on Peace and Love, Sweden's biggest festival. On July 30, 2010, the band played at Jisan Valley Rock Festival in South Korea. In 2010, Vampire Weekend embarked on a North American tour with Beach House and Dum Dum Girls. The tour started off on August 27, 2010, in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Malkin Bowl. Koenig mentioned to the audience that before this concert, the band had the longest vacation period that they have had in a while. Contra was nominated for a Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album, but lost to the Black Keys' Brothers. Modern Vampires of the City. On November 11, 2011, it was revealed that Vampire Weekend had been in the studio, writing and recording material for their third album. On April 26, 2012, Rolling Stone reported that the new album could be released by the end of the year. Koenig said, "We do have a ton of stuff. It would be cool if it was released this year. We just never want to be in a position where when we put out something, we feel could have benefited from more time." Until its release, members have been decidedly discreet about the details of the next album, stating that a band can give a bunch of interviews when they're working on stuff, but they don't want something, they said 6 months ago, to influence how people hear it when it's done. Modern Vampires of the City was released in May 2013, and written and recorded in various locations including Slow Death Studios in New York, Echo Park Back House in Los Angeles, Box Recording Studios in Hollywood, Rostam Batmanglij's New York apartment and a guest house on Martha's Vineyard. The album was co-produced by Batmanglij and Ariel Rechtshaid. After Batmanglij produced the first 2 albums himself, this marked the first time the band worked with an outside producer on any of their records. In an interview for the February 2013 edition of Q, Koenig described the upcoming album as darker and more organic, and very much the last of a trilogy. The album was recorded and co-produced by Ariel Rechtshaid in his Los Angeles studio. The band discussed the album with the Fader and appeared on the cover of the magazine's 84th issue. On March 16, 2013, the band played the closing show at Stubbs on the last day of the SXSW Festival in Austin, Texas. In the show they played 2 new songs from the upcoming album, Diane Young, and Ya Hey. On March 18, 2013, Vampire Weekend released a double-sided single, Diane Young/Step. On May 11, 2013, Vampire Weekend were featured as the musical guest on Saturday Night Live with Chris and Koenig hosting, their third time on the show. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard charts. This marks the second time Vampire Weekend has achieved such a historic feat. Its second album Contra also debuted at number 1 in 2010, making this the first time an independent rock band has entered at number 1 with 2 consecutive releases. Modern Vampires of the City also shattered the previous record for first-week vinyl sales, moving nearly 10,000 units on vinyl alone and debuting at number 1 on the SoundScan vinyl charts. Additionally, the band charted number 1 at Indie, Alternative, Digital and the Top 200. Modern Vampires of the City won a Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album. Members, Ezra Koenig lead vocals, guitar, lyrics, Rostam Batmanglij producer, keyboards, guitar, backing vocals, lead vocals, lyrics, Chris Tomson drums, percussion, backing vocals, Chris Baio bass guitar, backing vocals, image. The band, along with their record company XL Recordings and photographer Todd Scott Brody, was sued by Kirsten Kennis, the model on the cover of Contra, over the use of her image. The ABC network comedy drama series Castle, titled Episode 6 of Season 2, an episode set around Halloween and vampire imitators, Vampire Weekend. In January 2012, President Barack Obama added Vampire Weekend to a short list of musical artists that he sought support from for his re-election campaign. Vampire Weekend made it onto this list with Jay-Z, John Legend, and Alicia Keys. Other contributions: Vampire Weekend contributed a cover of Exit Music for Stereogum Presents. OKX, a tribute to OK Computer, a free tribute album celebrating 10 years of Radiohead's album OK Computer. They have also covered Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac, I'm Going Down by Bruce Springsteen, Have I the Right? By the Honeycombs, Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke, Fight for This Love by Cheryl Cole and Ruby Soho by Rancid. The band also contributed the song Ottoman to the soundtrack to the 2008 film Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Ottoman was then taken and sampled by rapper Kid Cudi. 2 tracks from their debut record also appeared in the 2009 comedy I Love You, Man. A new song, Jonathan Lowe, was released on June 8, 2010, appearing on the soundtrack to the 3rd installment of the Twilight Saga films, Eclipse. Rostam Batmanglij also has a project called Discovery with Wheeze Miles from Ra Ra Riot. Their debut album was called LP, featuring Ezra Koenig on the track Kabi. Ezra Koenig is featured on the song Warm Heart of Africa by The Very Best. It is the title track on their 2009 debut album. In March 2013, Ezra Koenig contributed vocals to a song by Major Lazer titled Jessica. It appears on their album Free the Universe. Vampire Weekend is, along with Imagine Dragons, one of the only bands to have one song on Pro Evolution Soccer and FIFA. Cousins, PES 2011 and Worship You, FIFA 14. In 2014, The Sims 4 trailer released at E3 used Unbelievers. In 2014, Vampire Weekend contributed a cover of Conti e Partiro by Andrea Bocelli on the Valentine's Day compilation, Sweetheart 2014. Vampire Weekend also contributed a cover of Bruce Springsteen's I'm Going Down on the Girls Volume 2 soundtrack. Discography. Studio albums, Vampire Weekend, Contra, Modern Vampires of the City, awards and nominations. References. External links. Official website.